So good afternoon, everyone. We will be having our class online. This is an online recorded class session for me to make sure that you are all being able to connect. So this time, dili na sa ta mag-meet in physical. Dili sa ta sa online platform. Later, I will send this link to your GC and the material itself, the instructional material. You have to answer an activity after watching this recorded class session. Okay, so our topic for today would be all about. If you can see your screen, you have to download it first. And you listen. You just play it after the. So the topic what we will be discussing today is all about the principles of verbal and nonverbal communication. So for the introduction, communication is an essential aspect of human interaction that facilitates the exchange of ideas, emotion, and information. Because we are now transferring my idea to you and your idea to me. Your emotion, your nonverbal emotions that I can see, my nonverbal emotion that you can see, and the exchange of our emotions and the information that you have heard, that you have listened, you have seen. It can broadly be categorized in two forms: your verbal communication, which involves of the use of words, the one you can hear, and the nonverbal communication, which encompasses gestures, my gestures, your gestures as your reaction, my body language, and your body language as well, the facial expression, and the tone of our voice. No? Both forms are integral to expressing ourselves effectively and understanding others, now contributing to a successful interaction in daily life and professional setup. No? Whether engaging in casual conversation, me talking to you, you talking to me, or you talking to another individual, these are the verbal and non-verbal communication. No? Resolving conflicts, you have a problem with me, I have a problem with you, we talk to each other, we are now understanding each other, exchange of ideas, negotiating deals, whether business or none, managing teams, verbal and nonverbal communication can work together to create a meaningful connection and foster mutual understanding. So we'll have first to discuss the principles of verbal communication. No? In verbal communication, this refers to the use of words, both spoken and written. No? So to convey a message, here are the key principles of verbal communication. Number one, which is your clarity. No, the message should be clear and easily understood. No, ambiguity or complicated language can hinder the understanding, because if you can remember, no, if you are using words that are not common to the common tongue of your listeners, then you are less likely to, to transfer, to give the wrong information that is being conveyed. No, so that's why you need to have a clarity in a sense that you are using words that are easily understood to your listener. Okay, so number two is you had your consciousness, no? Conciseness. No? To avoid unnecessary words, the message should be brief and to the point while still containing all essential information. Though you have words that are very comprehensive, you just use your common words, no? Common ideas, no? That is that will describe a brief and on point description. No? The third one is consistency. This is the content of the message. No, message should be consistent. No, in a way that it will deliver a one point idea, no? Not giving multiple ideas to a certain discussion. No? So you avoid contradiction or the mixed message, because you might as well give the wrong message. No? You have to be consistent of what you are telling, if or what you are talking, no? The fourth one is your tone, no? The emotional quality of words you choose can greatly influence and how the message is received, because it might be that you are giving the wrong tone to the message that you are conveying, because it would not be uh, on the same side of understanding, no? The tone should be appropriate to the situation, whether it is formal, informal, friendly, or serious. Because if you are conveying the message, the tone of your message is just too friendly, then less likely it will be an informal, and it would be a joke for your listener. Ba? So next one would be your feedback, no? You encourage and pay attention to the feedback from the listener to ensure that the message was understood as needed. Because if you will not allow feedback, no, you just yeah, the feedback of the audience is just passing, then you as the speaker, you will not um, you cannot give the right and correct um, sender, no, to the message, no. So this feedback can help adjust and improve the future communication, no. If your feedback is good, then you are less likely to commit mistakes, no, to the people, no. Number six would be adaptability. You tailor your language, your tone, and message to the audience. For example, the technical jargon might work well with experts, may confuse lay people. No, adaptability. If you're not able to adapt to the listener, to how they converse, no, the language that you are using, the tone, no. If you can remember, in the Philippines we have different dialects, no. You tailor your presentation, you tailor your talk to the native listener, no, who where it is the generally accepted language in that note, no. The tone would have the way Pangasinense, Tagalog, Bisaya, or in between those dialects, and in between the message that are conveyed are for the audience, for you also to understand, to be understood, to be well versed to the topic that you are discussing, you're relaying, di ba? And the final one would be active listening, no? Communication is not just about speaking, you know. Active listening ensures that you understand the other person before formulating your own response. Because if you cannot process how the listeners understand, no, you can confirm it by how they react, no, how's their emotions that being shown, no, in front of you, no, while you were presenting, no, while you were discussing, while you were talking to the audience, no. Active listening. So active listening from the sender to the listener, no, the one who is committing the act, ano ba? If you are actively listening, then you would somehow grasp the idea that they are not understanding what you are conveying, no, the message was not understood, then they will just react, huh, ba? No? On that note, no. So so um we have next would be the uses of verbal and nonverbal communication in daily activities. Number one is social interactions. No, number one would be verbal communication is essential to everyday conversation with the family, friends, and strangers. No, it allows individuals to express opinions, share stories, and exchange of information. No, social interaction. No, the way you react, the way you communicate in social in the social aspect of your life, no? Number two is nonverbal cues such as smiling, nodding, and making eye contact. No? You enhance this interaction by reinforcing friendliness, attentiveness, and empathy. No? Friendliness, you're able to convey the message as friendly as possible so that you're not the listeners should not be alienated. No? Attentiveness, that you are able to attend to their reactions and what you are saying. If they are not sold out to the idea or to your message that you are trying to convey to them, then you must be attentive to their reactions. No, you affirm, you reinforce the idea that is not clear to them. No, and empathy, you're able to listen, you're able to be open to whatever reactions that they are showing. No, number two is building relationship. No, in building relationship in verbal and non-verbal communication in daily activities, in personal relationship, no, verbal communication is the key to expressing emotion, desire, and thoughts. No, so literally speaking. No, so your nonverbal elements like a hug, a warm tone of voice, and a soft touch may help convey affection, care, support, and strengthening bonds. No, these are your ways, no, your ways in the nonverbal side. If there is someone who's talking to you and they are hugging you after a talk, just to show remorse or because of the mourn that you have lost someone, no, a warm tone of voice that will send immediately a feeling, no, a feeling to the receiver. No, for example, someone has lost his loved one. No, the tone of voice should not be happy. The tone of voice would be calming, diba? No? This soft touch also, no, this soft touch, maybe a tap on the back, no, it conveys affection, care, and support, and this strengthens the bonds. No, if your sister is experiencing anxiety, depression, no, a loss of a baby, no, you a tap on the back, a hug, or anything that you show it, you showed it, no, non-verbally. No, the third one would be conflict resolution. No, these are verbal communication that is crucial in discussing issues, no, voicing concerns and finding solutions during disagreements. No, so this verbal communication, conflict resolution, no, how you resolve a problem or an issue wherein verbally you are exchanging communication, exchanging of information, feedback, and your reaction. No? The fourth one would be everyday transaction. No? In your everyday transaction in daily activities, whether asking for help in a store or ordering food at a restaurant, no, verbal communications ensure clear and precise instruction that you want to have a food that is hot or cold. Is it with salty one, or you have it? Do you want to have it half cooked, huh? Or whatever? No? In non-verbal actions in everyday transactions, no? Such as friendly gesture or facial expression, make the interaction more pleasant and effective. No, if you are able to greet someone, no, early in the morning, no, and that person is having a bad day, but you were waving your hand, greeting the lady or a neighbor with a friendly facial expression, a good tone of voice, and a sign for waving. Yeah? You could turn that bad day into a very positive early day sign, diba? So moving forward, we have also the principle of nonverbal communication. No? In nonverbal communication involves body language, your gestures, your facial expression, eye contact, and other forms of conveying messages without words. No, so the key principles, number one is congruence. Number one, congruence. No, nonverbal cues should align with verbal communication. No? A mismatch between what is said and what is shown. No, saying you're happy but you're frowning. No, you're happy but you have this very heavy face. No, it creates confusion. You are saying that you are okay but the expression is sad, diba? Number two, body language. No? It is the posture, gesture, and movements that communicate a great deal about attitude, feelings, and intention. No? Open body language conveys openness and confidence, while closed body language or crossed arms are indicative of a defensive or discomfort. No? For example, there is someone who is just standing at the corner and the body language is just cross arms. No, it just it may the message is conveyed to those non-verbal communication would be, don't talk to me. Yeah, don't come near close to me, I'm angry at you. Oh, or something like that. No, so the third one would be your eye contact. Appropriate eye contact conveys confidence, attention, and sincerity. Because if you are talking to the listener, no, yeah, you might feel unimportant because you were looking somewhere else. No, so too much or too little eye contact can create discomfort or signal disengagement to the listener because yeah, maybe the listener would find it very uncomfortable. No? So next would be your facial expression. No? The face is a powerful indicator of emotion, often expressing joy, anger, sadness, and confusion before words are spoken. No? If you have those, yeah, if you will have those angry face, then you just nod your head without any words. No, if you are greeted, no, if you are greeted and you're having at an early morning, no, you have this very attitude expression of your face, ba? Next one would be proxemics, no, the use of space. No, physical distance between communicators can convey familiarity, intimacy, or formality. No, standing too close might invade the personal space of the listener. No, while standing too far may signal disinterest or formality to the listener. No, from you. Maybe if you are talking to a loved one, no, maybe your partner, your boyfriend or girlfriend, you might have an intimate space. No? It's not common to have talking to friends that you are too close and you are constantly having touches to one another. It might be that there's a stranger who just constantly touch you, no, and that is a disrespect, no? Bastos, ba? So next one is paralinguistics, the tone, the pitch, and the volume. The way something is said can be just as important as words themselves. No, a change of tone, volume, pitch can alter the meaning of the message because you are trying to convey a message that is congruent to whatever you are saying, to whatever that you are pertaining to convey, diba? And that's all. Mm. Next one would be haptics or your touch. No? Touch can convey warmth, affection, and power or aggression. No? The appropriateness of touch varies depending on cultural and situational context. No, in Asian countries, including ours, there are marites in the corner. No, the marites would just utter words that are compelling, especially to those with touch and action pa, di ba? If nagmarites mo na pag ipa-action na naman, mas makatuo pa yun ka. Di ba? Next one would be your timing and synchrony. No? The rhythm of conversation, including pauses, overlaps, and pacing, affects how a message is perceived. No? Good communicators are attuned to timing and natural flow of interaction. No? So next would be cultural sensitivity. Nonverbal communication varies widely across cultures. That might be a friendly gesture in one culture, but could be an offensive in one another. No, awareness of cultural norms is crucial for effective nonverbal communication. For example, some countries would might help you in kanang transferring a certain food from the food itself to your plate ba, but in the Japanese culture it is a no for you to get to, or for you to help to put a food in his plate. No, that is a form of disrespect pasto sa ila, di ba? So sa ato Filipino okay ra gyud kay, di ba? So moving forward, also no, uses of verbal and nonverbal communication in professional setting. No, number one is presentation and meetings. No, your verbal communication is essential when delivering presentation, pitching ideas, or leading meetings. No? It ensures clarity and compensation, di ba? So mag-meeting ta natin mga ipang present. So your report, your class report is also belongs to this. No, in the professional setting. No? You're also under presentation and meetings. No, your nonverbal communication skills such as being confident, body language, eye contact, expressive hand movements, no, strengthens the speaker's message in conveying authority and engagement to your listeners, diba? Number two, we have team collaboration. Effective team relies on a clear verbal communication to assign tasks, discuss strategies, and share progress. No? So, muna siya in team collaboration, no? Yung pagkakaisa, diba? A team player that you are able to invest your interest, no? Your versatility to the team. No? Under team collaboration, nonverbal signals like active listening cues, nodding, maintaining eye contact indicates attentiveness and agreement, na fostering trust and cooperation to your team. No? Under your team collaboration and professional setup. No, the third one would be customer service. No, verbal communication is vital for understanding customers needs and providing solutions, because if you cannot address, no, the concern of your customer, then less likely that this customer would be exhausted, would be dismayed, di ba? Di ba? And you provide solution to whatever problem that she or he is facing. No? So under customer service also, your nonverbal elements like a calm demeanor, you are not, even though that the customer is on a high level of stress, the tone, the voice, no? You're being respectful to the customer, no? Respectful in posture, and a pleasant tone that creates a positive atmosphere and enhancing customer satisfaction. Number four would be negotiation. No? In a professional setup, negotiation with verbal communication allows professional to articulate their demands, argue the points, and reach agreements during the negotiation. Because without the verbal communication, then there would be discrepancy, whatever negotiation, and there will be chaos. No? Number five, in the professional setup for verbal and nonverbal communication, leaders use verbal communication to give clear instructions, no, motivate employees, and provide feedback. No, without this verbal communication of the leaders and the management, the chaos will also be present. No, so under also with leadership and management, your nonverbal cues like open gestures, approachable body language, you just have not to you just have to not close your arms, no. If you're closing your arms, then the leadership and management, no, it would be sending a very different signal to the one to your subordinates, no. So this nonverbal cues in leadership management is creating an environment for trust and collaboration, no? With this, no, your professional daily activities of your verbal and nonverbal communication, no. So your verbal and nonverbal communication are dispensable in both daily life and professional setting, no. While verbal communication helps to convey a clear and direct message, nonverbal communication provides an emotional depth and context to enhance the understanding of your listener to you as your sender, no. Together they form a foundation of effective interaction that you allow individuals to navigate various social and professional scenarios with ease and success. So that is all for our lecture for principles of verbal and nonverbal communication. I hope to see you, and I hope you can answer the activities that I will be sending after you finish playing this recorded class session. Please answer your activities and submit it next meeting. No, that is for I think Friday, I guess. Yeah. So that would be all. Thank you and God bless everyone.